Now is the winter of our discontent, begins Gloucester in Shakespeare's Richard III. And we might be tempted to say, Gloucester, you ain't seen nothing. We've just had the spring into the summer through the autumn and now the winter of our discontent. We have just lived through what might have been the longest and most difficult year of our lives. It was just about this time last year, as we were beginning the season of Lent, that the global pandemic hit, upending our world and sending us into lockdown. But with the development of the coronavirus vaccine and the beginning of its distribution, we might just begin to see the smallest glimmer of a light at the end of this long and dark tunnel. Linguistic scholars speculate that the word Lent comes from the Old English word Lenten, meaning springtime, the season, or from the West German Langentinas, meaning the lengthening of the day. Both possible sources emphasize something positive. And isn't something positive exactly what we need? With this in mind, our parish team has chosen to emphasize the positive dimension of this season. Instead of thinking, as we usually do during Lent, about what we can give up in a year when all of us have given up so much already due to the pandemic, we hope to find new ways, new perspectives, and new pathways that open us up to the Spirit. Hopefully, this will point us in a new direction that can bring us through Lent into Easter joy. Instead of focusing upon what miserable sinners we all are, we want to focus on how much goodness God has placed in each one of us, and how best we can, even in the midst, or perhaps especially in the midst of these challenging times, bring that goodness into the world where so many are still living in fear and anxiety. To set the theme for this year's celebration of this holy season, to start us off on the right foot, we are focusing on the words of a reflection by William Arthur Ward entitled, Fast From, Feast On. He writes this: Fast from judging others, feast on Christ dwelling in them. Fast from emphasis on differences, feast on the unity of life. Fast from apparent darkness, feast on the reality of light. Fast from thoughts of illness, feast on the healing power of God. Fast from words that pollute, feast on phrases that purify. Fast from discontent, feast on gratitude. Fast from anger, feast on patience. Fast from pessimism, feast on optimism. Fast from worry, feast on trust. Fast from complaining, feast on appreciation. Fast from negatives, feast on affirmatives. Fast from unrelenting pressures, feast on unceasing prayer. Fast from hostility, feast on nonviolence. Fast from bitterness, feast on forgiveness. Fast from self-concern, feast on compassion for others. Fast from personal anxiety, feast on eternal truth. Fast from discouragements, feast on hope. Fast from facts that depress, feast on truths that uplift. Fast from lethargy, feast on enthusiasm. Fast from suspicion, feast on truth. Fast from thoughts that weaken, feast on thoughts that inspire. Fast from shadows of sorrow, feast on the sunlight of serenity. Fast from idle gossip, feast on purposeful silence. Fast from problems that overwhelm, feast on prayer that undergirds. That sounds like an awful lot to do, doesn't it? But these 24 statements, really 24 invitations, are invitations to a more positive, more energized, and more holy life. Perhaps during these 40 days of Lent, we could try choosing just one of these thoughts for a day and applying it to our lives. We will keep this litany up on our parish website and on our Facebook page so that you can consult it or at your convenience, even print it out. As the days get longer and we begin to feel the warmth of springtime, let's try to make this holy season a time of real hope for us and for our world. Let us turn this time of pandemic isolation into an experience of God present with us. Let us focus on the positive aspects of our lives and of our faith, always remembering that God is with us. And when God is with us, all things are possible.